Hi, today I'll be coding something inspired by this bees and bombs animation, but I won't be trying to reproduce it exactly. So we start with a number of arms, which is going to be 6. Then we're going to have a number of cubes per arm, let's say 24. Then we're going to have a total number of cubes, which is going to be the number of arms times the number of cubes per arm. And we're also going to set a number of directions. Since this is in 3D, the number is going to be 3. We're going to have a 3D assembly, and within it we're going to have a loop to create all the cubes. So we're going to have cube elements, and then again we're going to have another loop, so for I going from 0 up to the number of directions, incremented at every step, and then we're going to have direction elements, and then we're going to take this loop from here, and in a style element we're going to set some styles for the direction elements. So direction and child, and here we're going to need to add 1 because in CSS this nth child index is 1 based, and for our loop it's 0 based. So actually we're not going to set this as an index or anything. I mean, we could and then interpolate between the components, but I think it's a lot easier to just set color. So here we're going to have, okay, so something like this, and something else we want to set here is the rotation vector. So the rotation vector, initially it's going to be just an empty array, and then we're going to have pretty much the same loop, except we change the index. And in this vector we want to push 0 when I different from j, and 1 when they're equal. So we're going to have, so push, so we have the condition I equal to j. This is a Boolean value and we want to turn it into a number, so we multiply with 1. So here we set it like that. Okay, so now you can see we have those colors and we have the vectors 1, 0, 0. So this is for the x, y, and z. So again, we're going to have 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, something else I want to set here, in a style attribute, I want to set the number of arms, and similarly the number of cubes. So yeah, it's going to be pretty much the same, except it's going to be C instead of A. Okay, so having done this, we're going to make some more changes, but for now let's just put something on the screen. So for the cube elements, we'll be setting an in radius, and this is going to be calc half of the minimum viewport dimension over, and here we're going to have the number of cubes plus 1, I don't know, I suppose, something like that. And now for the direction elements, we're also going to have pseudo elements before and after. Okay, so having done this, we're going to set their padding to that in radius, but this is not going to do anything because they're in line by default, and of course before we set the content nothing is going to get shown. So what we want to do is on all div elements we set display grid, and we also set grid area to the first row and first column for all of them, and we do the same with the divs, but here place self center. Okay, having done this, here we'll be setting background to current color. So now we should be seeing something. Okay, that's great. So we'll be taking this as well and putting it here. Okay, so also let's set some styles on the body. Again, we're going to have display grid, margin 0, get rid of the margins, make the height, full viewport height, Set the perspective, right? Something like 35 ems. Actually, let's also set a perspective origin. So it's going to be something like 50%, 25%. So you see things a bit from above. Let's set a more interesting background. So we're going to have not linear. Let's say a radial gradient, and we're going to use these colors from here. Okay, there's too much pink, whatever. Let's push that outwards. So let's also make this circle, something like this. I think it looks better this way. Maybe I should increase this, but yeah, I'll just leave it like this, because then I'll just tweak it and tweak it and tweak it. Okay, so here we'll be setting a transform. So first off, we're going to have a rotate 3D, right? And we're going to have that vector and 90 degrees. And then we're going to have a rotate Y. And this is going to be different for the before and after, because we're going to use a switch K, which is 0 initially, and then on the after we switch it to 1. So this K becomes 1 here. So here we're going to have calc K times half a turn. Okay, let's align stuff because it's going to look ugly otherwise. Okay, and then we're going to have translate along the third axis. We're going to have that in radius. Okay, so it's going to look a bit like a cube. But yeah, this is, no. Oh. Okay, I'm totally messing this up. What did I do? What did I mess up? Okay. Transform style, preserve 3D. Let's also set something else. Let's say it's something like this. Now it's starting to look like something, right? Okay, now here we're going to set transform. That's going to be translate, and this is going to be a calc. So let's say it's going to be 0.5 times the number of cubes times that in radius. So something like this, right? But we're going to want to go along different directions for each cubes. So this, we're going to have a rotate Y there, but this is going to be calc. So we're going to need to set an index for the number of arms. So let's get back here, right? So I'm just going to take this basically. Alright, so we're going to have the number of arms, and here we're going to have a cube, nth child, oh, like this, nth child, n plus, and here I'm going to have the number of cubes times I plus 1, again that plus 1 because the index is 1 based, and here we're going to have an index. Right, and we're going to have something very similar for the cubes. So this is the index for the arms, and we're going to have a similar index for the cubes on the same arm. So here we're going to go up to the number of cubes. Okay, and here we're going to have the number of cubes. Okay, and here we'll be setting a different index, j. Okay, so having done this, let's get back here. And we're going to set I over the number of arms times 1 turn. right? So you can see them arranged like that. And then we're going to have, let's also set translate Y, and actually we'll be animating this, right? So we'll be having translate Y, so move them up. So it's going to be calc 1 minus the number of cubes, so 0.5, okay, times the in radius, so they're all up there. And then I'm going to actually I had another idea. Let's take this. So this is going to be like that. Okay, so having done this, and I think I can make this a Y. So make this Y. Okay, and now I can just take this and have keyframes, and we're going to have a moving animation, right? 2. So basically it's going to be this. So this is going to be and here I'm going to have calc something like this. So here let's set animation, let's set an animation duration here. So let's say something like 4 seconds. So that move animation. Linear infinite. And we're going to delay depending on the cube index. So calc, so J over the number of cubes, okay, times something like this. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Not quite what I had in mind. Also, that perspective is really crazy. Let's make something, I don't know. Okay. Okay, let's make this a custom property. So an offset along the third axis. So we're going to have this offset, and here we're going to have scale. Let's also set a factor. Let's compact that, compact this one as well. So we're going to have a scaling factor. We can change it later. So right, So then we're going to have this offset, and then we're going to have keyframes, sizing, okay, so here we'll be having okay, I'm not really sure what is happening. Let's stop the animation because it's the performance is horrible like this. Okay, so transform. Let's make this scale 3D. Sorry, that's why it was busted. Scale 3D. 0, 0, 0, and again we're going to have that same offset, and here, right, actually here we'll be using twice the duration, and here we'll be using animation, sizing, can I just inherit the animation delay? Yeah, I think I'm just going and yeah, is in out, infinite, alternate, and animation delay inherit. Okay, so now start this as well. Okay, this is starting to look like something. Let's set here overflow hidden. Okay, so this is starting to look like something. But I think, yeah, don't compress them so much. And of course, since I did this, I might as well. But I think I'm just going to go with, right, something like this. It kind of looks a bit like a Christmas tree ornament. So, yeah. It definitely looks a bit like a Christmas tree ornament. One other thing we might do is make those cubes rotate. So let's make this position, and then we're going to have transform, rotate Y, right, 0 degrees, and the position. Then we're going to take this, right, and we're going to have keyframes, rotate, and it's going to go 2. So something very similar, except it's going to be something like 1 turn. And I think we can reduce the animation duration. So we're going to have the exact same animation delay. So again, we're going to inherit that. But yeah, okay, so we're going to have something similar to what we have here, right? Except we won't be having an alternate animation. We'll be making this linear, and we'll be using the rotation animation, right? Actually, let's rotate it in the other direction. I don't know, I think I'm gonna like it better if it rotates in the other direction. Or maybe make these rotate in the other direction. Yeah, I don't know, it looks a bit laggy. I wonder if I'm going to, I could do something like this, you know, have fewer cubes. It's not necessarily the best performance. Okay, I don't know, I think they're ending up looking a bit too big if I have something like this. I mean, the performance definitely depends on the number of cubes, so I think I'm just going to leave it like this. So yeah, this is it pretty much. I'm not going to be tweaking it any further and wasting any more time. This is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like the work that I've been putting out for more than 8 years now, please consider supporting it. You can do so by being a cool cat and becoming a patron on Patreon. The link is going to be in the description, as well as the link to the original animation, the link to this demo, and everything else. Or you can get me something off my Amazon wishlist for Christmas. Again, the links are going to be in the description, or you can at least share this to show the world what can be done with CSS these days, because honestly, I think it's pretty damn cool. In any event, thanks for watching, and until next time.